And we talking about stunts, yes.
Hey.
Yeah, stunt performers don't get much of applause because we are usually just in the shadows doing our crafts and go and fight, and we don't get Oscars and shit.
Not yet. It'll happen.
We get Taurus Award for the best stunt. Okay, how did you decide that you want to be a stuntman?
Just listening to the stories of what dudes were getting up to on set from the guys who I was training parkour with. So they were already doing stunts for a couple of years by the time I started parkour and hanging out with them. And then, they sort of hooked me up with some training under a stunt coordinator in Melbourne. And Australia has a similar kind of grading process for performers to the UK, where you go and do some disciplines and then you put an application into a committee and then they vote on whether to grade you or not. I did that and then just started getting gigs and getting put in touch with different coordinators and auditions and stuff like that.
So did you already get some jobs before you even qualified? Before you got on the... Because in Australia they have also... What would they call it? Australian Stunt Register?
No, it's not really called the register. Like, it's effectively kind of that. Structurally it works very similar to the UK. That was on...
This is 2017. You have something better now out there.
No. So I'm in that classic boat of I want to put out a new stunt reel, but I'm waiting for certain things to get released before I put it out, and then it comes out and it's like barely usable. Like, this fighting's crap. Like it's not horrendous, but I definitely want to update it a bit.
What are you talking about? It's beautiful.
You are. I like that. That was a cool stunt, that kip up onto my face.
Yeah, for those who are listening, we are watching Mike Snow's show reel for... Oh, look at him doing a breakdancing.
I need to have a show reel that doesn't have breakdancing. I don't want to be hired for breakdancing. There's a couple of clips in here that,
I like that one.
I still like and want to use. Like this commercial was cool. I still like those clips.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, there's a few
That's
things.
like just my Saturday.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to have something water related in there.
Nice.
But yeah, there's definitely
free running.
Yeah. I tried to have like my show reel fairly like grouped with all the skills, and I don't know how most coordinators feel, but when I watch people's show reels and it keeps cutting back between like fully different skills and films, and like you think you've watched a fight scene and then it moves on and then it comes back to that fight scene 30 seconds later, it's like
yeah, what is going on?
So I try to have like my reel all fairly like lumped together with certain things, but yeah.
Cool. So now it's been how many years since you qualified for British Stunt Register?
I got graded here in 2018.
2018, and then you also got on the. It's not a register in Australia, but what is it called?
I just got graded.
Just
got my
graded.
stunt grading.
Yeah, stunt grading, and then you got there on. When was that?
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
And you're here in UK because it's just we have more prettier girls here, right? Yeah. So for those who don't know, UK is the capital of the stunt kind of film industry in general. It's just
at the moment.
At the moment, yeah. But it's been like that for last how many years?
For a while, but everything goes in waves. You know, like Hollywood has had its day, and now Hollywood is super quiet. And
why do you think is that? Like, why? Like, I want to hear your opinion. Why do you think Hollywood is quiet?
It's a mixture of things, dude. Like, at the end of the day, most of the decisions from studios come down to money. Like, it's cheaper to do stuff out here. And, you know, like, part of that is the crew rates. Part of that is the location offset tax, or like the tax incentive. It's got different names depending on which country you're in. But basically, like, a country might offer 25% of a production's costs back to them as an incentive to come over. So they're like, hey, come and do your film here and we'll give you 25% back of your budget.
Is that what is going on in the UK, you think?
Yeah, UK is about 25%. There's
Really?
a lot of countries that are 30%. Australia's one is 16.5%, which really doesn't help. So back in the days of like Matrix, I think the tax incentive was around 25-30%. And then some genius in the government came along and decided that it should be 16.5%. And that just boned Australia for like a lot of productions.
Really?
Just decided it wasn't worth going there.
Because one of the reasons why I thought that there's a lot of productions in UK because of the crews, because of the like really good teams.
Yeah,
who
for
can
sure.
get
But
the
like
work
Hollywood
done.
has all of that.
That's
Hollywood would for sure have tons of really skilled crew members and, you know, obviously a lot of good performers and stuff like that. But it's just if the tax incentive isn't right, and yeah, like if they've priced themselves out of their own game, or, you know, like it's just, if it's just heaps cheaper and just as good to do it somewhere else, then they're always going to do that. Like it's all about money.
I found Stunt Reel 2012.
Oh God, not my 12.
How come you have it still on the line?
I don't know.
Oh, it's still six stuff. It's mainly free running here.
Yeah, at the start.
Yeah, and then there's gonna be some awesome fights.
No, there's not going to be awesome fights.
Let's not show that. Okay, and stunt stuff. I mean, there's so many different things about stunt industry in general. Like, what are the things what you like to do the most as a performer?
Creature work is one thing I really like and want to do more of. You know, like I don't particularly fancy the stunt coordinator or head stunt rigger kind of path. Maybe I'll change my mind at some point, but
You want to be a performer till you're 95.
maybe not 95, but something like that. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I want to keep my focus on stunt performing for as long as I can, and gradually sort of maybe branch out into acting a little bit more here and there, and also like, yeah, all the creature performing stuff in prosthetics and stuff like that. Like, you know, like I'm a flexible dude. I can move in weird ways, and, you know, that works well for creature stuff. And
You're just a weird dude.
And that, and, you know, like the live show puppetry stuff that I've done as well. Like that really helped with Detective Pikachu doing.
Where's the Charizard?
I think it was there. I think you just could have missed it.
What is it?
Go
This
down.
one?
No.
This one? No, this one.
That's Gengar has Blastoise.
Anyway, so
that
for
same-
those who want to know what is going on, is basically Mike Snow was doing a puppetry for a character called Charizard.
Yeah, sort of like puppetry / green suit performing. Kind of
Yeah.
did a bit of a mix. Somewhere I was just puppeteering like a VFX head that they used for sort of lighting and texture references. And then other times I was like, you know, embodying Charizard, so just playing him sort of as myself. Yeah, this scene was sick, man. This was 10 days in Leavesden Studios. I actually doubled this guy as well, or they wanted me to
The
double
DJ,
him.
yeah, I remember
the
you told me
DJ,
that.
and then, yeah, it ended up not really happening. But, yeah, so I was pretty much just doing the,
So Ryan Reynolds was doing voice for Pikachu.
yeah, but he wasn't on set for any of this. They had a guy being his voice double, and he was literally, like,
Just saying.
either to the side of camera or fully offset. And Justice Smith, let's just pause it for a sec. So this guy, Justice Smith, would have like a little in-ear monitor and could hear this guy.
Obviously, because he need to react on what is going on.
So you've got dudes physically puppeteering Pikachu in front of camera, and they're not doing the voice; they're just doing the puppetry.
Yeah.
And then you've got Cornelius off camera in Justice's ear doing all the dialogue, or just like audibly, like just speaking it out. They kind of did a mix of both.
Because obviously you need that. You need to have a reaction to.
You got to have something to react to.
So difficult, and you can see that in some older films back in the days when they had like the first like animation meets movies. And you see that like even the eye line is messed up. They're
it's
not
not
looking in a
consistent.
proper place.
Yeah.
So where's the character? So that's why, and some people don't have idea why. How does it work? So you have these green, suited people with also the sometimes with that ball, what they call them, the silver ball. But that's for reference.
That's just
silver
for
ball, wasn't it?
reference at the end,
Yeah.
usually.
But then they would just have like a green character and wearing a. In this case, it was just wearing the hat where the head would be, of the character, right?
Yeah, so for Charizard, I had like a helmet with some sticks coming off it. I mean, Charizard's not particularly tall. He's like a bit taller than me. So they had these sticks and lights on there to sort of represent his head. But most of what I did was actually, it ended up being just puppeteering the head And it was good because it weighed like 18 kilos. So like the pace that you would sort of run at this thing with, and like the gravity and the weight that gave you, worked pretty well for his character. Because Charizard's obviously a big chunky boy.
Yeah.
He's not going to be super like nimble on his feet. So puppeteering that actually worked really well.
You do look like him a little bit. Also, like ginger, you have like the
Big orange dude.
Yeah, big orange dude.
Same teeth and
Clumsy.
yeah.
Doesn't come
This
across
guy
as
was
a nice
awesome.
person.
The trainer for Charizard, he was rad.
What's
his
the
name was
actor's name?
Omar something, Shaparo, I think.
Sick.
And yeah, man, this was fun. Like we dragged him around on a big tail and smacked him with another tail. It was just this big green stick, and yeah,
Smacked with a big green stick.
yeah, my job
baby.
on one of the days was literally to just smack Justice Smith in the chest with this giant green stick.
Yay. And then that. Wait. Wait. Hey, too late, but whatever.
Yeah. No, this scene was sick, man. So even though like everything you do gets completely animated over and lost to a degree, it helps everyone else do their job better. Like, you know, from the lead actors to the extras, you know, if they all have a consistent thing to look at and react to, and someone's giving it some energy, then yeah, they have a much easier time.
One of the films what I definitely was you can see the lack of that was Space Jam.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God!
I mean, the technology at the time,
yeah, the technology.
made it so
but
hard.
for that time, I mean, technology was amazing. Like they did, it was revolutionary.
Oh yeah, but he would have been acting to nothing. Same with like Scooby Doo. They would sometimes they just hang like a tennis ball on a string, if that, and so that he had like a consistent eye line, but it wouldn't be moving, it wouldn't be puppeteered or anything. But I remember an interview with Rowan Atkinson saying how hard it is to talk to like Scooby Doo when there's nothing there.
Yeah.